The Oasis Desert, arguably the better of the two dry heaps of our world, plus it is very aptly named. We will come to find that the Oasis Desert truly is an oasis, and sure, the two deserts do share many similarities, but their differences are what set them apart. Duh. Forgive me, as the beginning of this video will be quite familiar to those who watched our Dragonfly biome guide, but when it comes to the baseline biome generation, the Oasis Desert tends to get the short end of the stick. It's likely for the biome to form between others, very much unlike the Dragonfly Desert, which of course renders it compact or even oddly shaped at times. So let us just hope that doesn't happen, as basing here means free real estate all summer long with no worry, aka the entire biome is smolder free, aka no natural wildfires across the whole joint. Oh yes, the Oasis Desert is where it's at, especially for mega basers. As for what the desert houses, we can expect plenty of familiar flora like spiky bushes here. As we know already, picking these things will prick ya for 3 damage each and net you but a single twig. So really, that ain't worth it. Instead, we can choose to dig up spiky bushes to prevent that damage while gaining an opportunity to actually relocate these thorny things. And it's really not a bad idea to do, as spiky bushes grow in winter unlike our other relocated resources. But here, the first difference presents itself. There may be spiky bushes, but y'all won't find spiky trees in the Oasis Desert. Don't fret though, you really ain't missing much, as they only drop twigs with a 20% chance to drop a log. Of course, you can always just dig up their stumps for a guaranteed log, but honestly, these trees are best left to burn at the end of the day, no matter where you can or can't find them. Oh look, Beard, the cacti are a different shape in this desert. That must mean that they themselves offer something different, right? Wrong. Oasis Cacti is the same as always, so anticipate a prick for 6 damage each harvest, so wear armor if you're gathering a crap ton of it. But expect the very same Cactus Flesh we discussed once before. The good news is that they do still grow in and throughout winter, so that's just lovely and should be noted. But don't forget their summer style either. Pick them cactus flowers come that time as well. Remember now, that cooked cactus flesh is a great little sanity snack for most characters out there, so always keep this alternative in the back of your mind. But remember too, uncooked cactus flesh is used in making some guacamole for the big game. Guacamole ain't the most exciting thing in the world at 20 health, 37.5 hunger, and 0 sanity, but hey, it's a thing I guess. But oh yeah, it is needed to adopt Eulit through the rock den, so there you go. The cactus flowers, on the other hand, go into 2 likely more enticing crafts: flower salad and the floral shirt. Flower salad restores 40 health, 12.5 hunger, and 5 sanity a munch, which is honestly pretty great considering how easy it is to make. And the floral shirt is a summertime dress item that offers 240 points of overheating protection with a cheeky sanity aura on the side. The problem with this guy is that it takes up your armor slot, is made obsolete via better summer gear, and that it spoils over time. But if you do need something desperately, then here you go. But enough of all the same crap. What really sets the two deserts apart? Well, do you notice any hound mounds in sight? That's right, folks. Hound mounds generate in the Dragonfly Desert, not the Oasis one. Now, if you have a Hound Mound Fortress set piece, it could very well spawn here, but naturally speaking, expect to be pretty hound free around these parts. Again, it is supposed to be an oasis at the end of the day. Know what else you'll notice quickly? 0 signs of tumbleweeds and or grass geckos. Well, usually. If your deserts are nearby or even spawn together in a joint desert world, then you'll obviously have some overlap, but nah, No tumbleweed looting for you when you're just chilling at the Oasis exclusively. However, this does make it easy to identify which desert you're in if you haven't seen any of the various cacti yet. But looky what I found, folks. Vault goats. These living, breathing lightning rods are exclusive to the Oasis Desert and live in a herd very similar to our beefaloes. They do breed, just as long as one remains. So do your best to not murder them all, please. Wait for me to get there at least. I kid. But if you are looking to shock some to death, I wouldn't recommend just running around looking like a fool, cause you ain't catching these guys. Instead, use a ranged weapon to get their attention first, and then get to work kiting the beasts. Or become Mr. Sandman and do some murdering under the cover of night. In both cases, one battle with one goat will not turn the entire herd against you, so no worries there. They do got 700 health and kinda hit hard, so I would be a little cautious. Vault goats drop 2 big meat upon death, but have a 25% chance of dropping their horn, which could go into making a sadly long forgotten weapon, the Morningstar. The Morningstar has always been somewhat unique, just not that good per se. It actually only loses durability when held, and not during combat. It emits enough light to stave off the night, deals 43 plus damage to dry targets, but 72 plus damage to wet ones due to its electrical damage modifier. Again, not really that bad, just not great. The Weatherpane is another technical weapon that will require some moose hunting in order to craft one first, so get to it. Do so, and enjoy launching mini tornadoes at your targets. It's best used on mobs who don't really move very much, and personally, I have never really thought it a weapon myself, but rather a tool to maybe fell trees, and even then it's not that great, but to each their own. It's pretty good in the Toadstool fight or even the Fuel Weaver fight, so there you go. But the creme de la creme, Vault Goat Schadenfreude. This legendary gelatinous jelly dish has had its fair share of the spotlight on this channel already. So just do yourself a favor and simply witness the absolute madness before indulging in this blue goo of electrical goodness yourself. Oh, and speaking of electrical goodness, did you know that milk exists in this game? Either wait for lightning to strike a goat or shock them yourself via electrical darts and or a Morningstar to charge them suckers up. Kill them then, and they'll drop what is known as electric milk. But be careful now, they have increased damage in this state, and you'll want to be wearing some lightning resistant gear too. Trust me. But hey, did you know that there was actually ice cold ice cream in this game? There is, and we'll need said goat milk for it. Toss in some ice and honey for a dish that grants a whopping 0 health, 25 hunger, but 50 sanity total, making it the best sanity restoring food in the entire game in terms of total restored per one item. It's very cool, especially when the stuff literally actually lowers your temperature for you when you eat it. Anyone care for a trip to the lake this summer? Only problem is it's all dried up currently, so let's put a hold on that for a bit. But welcome to the Oasis itself, folks. You'll find numerous birchnut trees around, and come summertime, expect some succulents to spawn around as well. They don't do anything worthwhile for you, but you can put them in pots for decoration if you happen to get the blueprint later. Oh, and say hello to the poor soul who's always just going to be leaving behind some goodies for ya. You might want to grab that fishing rod. We're gonna need it. For you see, we can't bloody see. Come summer, a sandstorm viciously brews in this desert, rendering visibility very poor and your movement very slow. The storm will cover almost all the corners of the Oasis Desert. Well, except the Oasis, of course. Summer also sees the lake fill up, and this is where that rod comes into play. We must actually fish in the lake for things called crumbled packages, and thankfully, we have a 60% chance at reeling one in each cast. We are after two blueprints, folks. The fashion goggles and the desert goggles. However, these packages may also hold trinkets and other blueprints as well. So you can get what you need after only a couple casts or maybe even a couple days of straight up fishing. And unfortunately, there is nothing I can do to help you here. It is all RNG. And oh yeah, you can also just catch straight up fish too, and that doesn't frickin' help. Make your desert goggles and enjoy navigating the sands without any movement penalty and far better visibility overall, and that's just wonderful. But now, there's one last big thing we must showcase before we call it quits today on the Oasis Desert: Antlion. Antlion is actually the seasonal boss of summer and Don't Starve Together, and she's also one that doesn't actually need to die either. She has something called a rage timer that when depleted could very well cause you some harm. But this video has gone on long enough, I'm sure, so I will direct you to her specific guide this time around. But don't fret, she's the easiest frickin' big bad in Don't Starve history. And some quick final mentions of the 3 Bs. Yes, buzzards, boulders, and bones still call this desert home. They're all just so self-explanatory that we don't need separate segments on them again. Just go watch the Dragonfly Desert Biome Guide for that one. But there you have it, everyone. The Oasis Desert, truly named quite well in my opinion, as there ain't much to worry about around these parts. And whatever does come up can be very easily mitigated without much trouble. So sit back and enjoy the summer vibes. One last fair warning though, even without wildfires you may still want flingomatics here and there, as the summer heat will still wither your crops. But thanks for watching folks, well wishes to all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!